least one woman who's dating a guy who just isn't even worthy of her. Or maybe you've dated your own share of lackluster losers. I'm certainly guilty of that. I am. The new book, Dump That Chump, takes a woman from doormat to diva and gives her the power to get over her Mr. Wrong. Please welcome author and relationship expert, Dr. Deborah Mendel.
Hello, Dr. Deborah.
Hi.
I want to use that, lackluster losers. Can I use that on another interview?
Yes,
and I will quote you.
And I call them lovable losers.
Yes.
Where they just don't have themselves together. And why do we date these guys?
Okay, there are many, many smart, intelligent women out there who will continue to stay in dead-end relationships, but sadly because they have low self-esteem, they had poor role modeling from their families, and then we have all of society, that we have these wonderful romance novels that are so unrealistic. There's no guy out there that's like that, but we convince ourselves that that's what we're holding on to, and we're forever disappointed, and we do our own share of junk in a relationship, but we're often pointing the finger at the guy, and we will stay with these guys even though we know that they're mistreating us. And I'm very careful in the book to distinguish between chumps and guys that you just, you know, they might be great, the lovable loser, but they're not really mistreating you. They're not mean to you. They do respect you, but it may just be a really strong misfit.
Right. Maybe the relationship is just going nowhere.
Yes.
Or like my thing, and I told you this before we started rolling, that I see the red flags and I just knock them down. Red flag, down, get down. I see them, but I move forward with the relationship anyway, knowing that this is probably not going to work out, but maybe I didn't want to be alone, or why do we do that?
Yes, well, women are notorious for putting the cart before the horse, right? We see a guy, he likes us, so we stop doing the interviewing, and we just assume if he's hot for us, or he's got those peacock feathers fanning in bright colors, then we go, well, maybe that thing isn't so bad, or I can get over that. And I have a friend who always says to me, his line for understanding whether he's going to be in a good relationship or not is to say, what's going to bother me somewhere down the line?
Right.
You know, we should be asking ourselves those questions on the front end, because really what happens is if we're not discriminating on the front end, if we don't know what our non-negotiable needs are, we are likely to keep waiting for him to make us feel good and being dependent on him for our self-esteem, and then we're in trouble.
Then you're in big trouble.
Yes.
Well, so does that mean that it's about having these deal breakers? Because I have a set of deal breakers. I'm going to share them with you.
Yes.
See if I'm being too much, a little too over the top. Like a smoker.
Yeah.
If he's broke, here's my own personal list. If he's broke, put my picture beside it. If he's a mama's boy, no sense of humor. I mean, humor is a big thing for me. And I'm an ex-smoker, so that's why I don't want to smoke her. A funny smell. You know, sometimes people just have that little funny smell, that smell is just not funk, but just that little smell. It's a funny smell. Bad teeth or no teeth.
No teeth.
A breath.
What if he's got good fake ones, though?
Oh, good fake ones. I'll take that. I'll take that any day. I mean, if he puts them in a jar, as long as I don't see the jar at night, that's okay.
Right. I mean, what if he got his front teeth busted because he was defending you, and then he had to get some new teeth?
All over it.
All right, then he's good. Okay.
A bad breath, huge. Like, work on that. A bad speller. Why is that a big deal for me? Like, if you can't spell, then we can't get along.
Okay, but you know what? So you have defined your non-negotiables, and that's what I call them. Is that list of non-negotiables, and then there are negotiable needs and wishes, and there are preferences that we would really like in a relationship.
What would be negotiable? Like, give me a negotiable.
Well, maybe you would really prefer that somebody had the same taste in culinary cuisine as you did, because you really enjoy going to certain Italian restaurants, let's say, and the guy really doesn't like Italian food. I don't really think that should be a deal breaker, because a lot of women will be really picky about the list.
And go to Mexican instead or something.
Well, exactly, right. Or modify your Italian meal, you know, make it more comfortable for him. But when we get too rigid on those things, then all of a sudden our group of people that we're going to be with is so small that it makes it really hard to meet anybody. And I help tell women to help them that they should really be more conscientious about the things that are really meaningful. How does the guy treat you? How does the guy treat other people? We can tell a lot from a guy on a first date when you go to a restaurant, watching how they treat the people in the restaurant.
I agree with you 100%.
If they're mean, if they're cruel, if they treat them like servants. Bad tippers. That is a deal breaker. Yes.
A deal breaker for me. What about break? Now we've had the relationship. How do you deal with a breakup?
Okay, breakups are hard, right? There's songs written about breakups because they are very difficult for people, but they are doable. And I think the most important thing to realize is that your life actually opens up when you get out of a bad relationship. It doesn't close off. Unless we do that time heals all wound things, it doesn't. Time really doesn't heal anything. We have to take an active role in our healing, and then time is a bonus pack.
All right.
Time services us us in that respect. So when we break up with somebody, we have to get through that pining and romanticizing phase, that time where we think about everything that was great about the relationship. And in the book, I provide all kinds of exercises like a memory box and the stop sign and confining your pining to very short periods of time each day. So you're really saying, I'm going to move on because I am going to have a better relationship in the future.
Well, I'm going to move on right now, and I'm going to wait for my next relationship to come along. And Bill's supposed to be helping me find a dude, so we'll talk. We'll talk. And I'll modify the list. We'll see. So do you think you might be dating a dud? Go to intheloop.ivillage.com to take the Dump That Chump quiz. Find out if he's dateable or ready to get out of there. We'll be right back.